Hi everyone, I am excited for this episode. I'm coming to you today from a place that I eat at multiple times a week when I'm up here at Fort Leavenworth. So come with me where you can experience the history and enjoy the food here at the depot in Leavenworth, Kansas. Long before the United States acquired Kansas in the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, it belonged to 8 Indian tribes, including the Kansa, Osage, Wichita, and the Pawnee. During the 18th century, the French and Spanish competed for the area, but the French succeeded due to better relations with the Native Americans. Founding Fort Kavanaugh in 1744 in the approximate vicinity of where Fort Leavenworth stands today, the French evacuated 20 years later when France ceded the Louisiana territories west of the Mississippi River to Spain. Then the territory reverted to France before the United States acquired it. Lewis and Clark explored the area in their famous expedition between 1803 and 1806, and the area became known as the Great American Desert. Considered unsuitable for settlement because of its barrenness, the region was designated a permanent home for the Native Americans. From 1825 to 1840, nearly 30 tribes gave up the land in the northern eastern part of the nation, moving to the Kansas Territory. Some of these tribes include the Shawnee, Delaware Chippewa, Iowa, Wyandot, and Kickapoo. In 1827, Colonel Henry Leavenworth and the 3rd Infantry Regiment from St. Louis, Missouri, established Fort Leavenworth. The post was the first settlement in the Kansas Territory and is the oldest active Army post west of the Mississippi River. The fort initially served as a quartermaster depot, arsenal, and troop post and was dedicated to protecting the fur trade and safeguarding commerce on the Santa Fe Trail. The city of Leavenworth was founded in 1854 largely to support Fort Leavenworth, but quickly became the springboard to the west. The city of Leavenworth had its origins at a meeting in Weston, Missouri, just a few days after the passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Bill. The first sale of town lots was held on October 9th of 1854. Fun fact, on December 3rd, 1859, the day after Kansas abolitionist John Brown was hung, Abraham Lincoln made a speech in Leavenworth. Speaking from the steps of the Planters Hotel, he urged voters not to use violence, but to use their vote at the ballot box to keep slavery from expanding into the territory. His speech is said to be similar to what is considered to be his first presidential campaign speech, delivered months later at Cooper's Union in New York. Leavenworth offers many historical attractions, including the Parker Carousel Museum, the Carroll Mansion, the Fred Harvey Museum, a Black History Museum, the Frontier Army Museum, and much more. The city is home to 8 National Register historic districts and 12 National Register properties associated with the city's early developments. So let's get down to the building we have now. The depot was built by the Leavenworth and Topeka Railway Company, which was owned jointly by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway Company and the Union Pacific Railroad Company. In 1894, the Union Pacific turned over the line to the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway, often referred to as the Santa Fe or the AT&SF, was one of the larger railroads in the United States. The railroad was chartered in February 1859 to serve the cities of Atchison and Topeka, Kansas, and Santa Fe, New Mexico. The railroad reached the Kansas-Colorado border in 1873 and Pueblo, Colorado in 1876. The Leavenworth Depot itself ceased operations well before the railroad did in 1996 when it merged with the Burlington Northern Railroad to form the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe Railway, which you may know now as BNSF. All right, my history foodies, it is time to get inside the depot and see what Mike and Mary are cooking up for us today. These owners believe that if you cook with love and serve the food with a smile, customers will come back again and again. And I can tell you for a fact, I continue to come back again and again before I ever met the owners because I truly loved the service that their staff gives and the food that they do cook up that is homemade, made from the freshest ingredients, and served in the coolest, laid-back atmosphere that happens to be a national landmark. Mike and Mary love this building, and they show it through the honor they give in keeping many of the old menus, copies of oil paintings, and other small relics that either came with the building or have been donated back to the depot to proudly display. What once was a visit to an awesome building that I saw out of the corner of my eye became a breakfast and lunch pastime of mine, coming back to find new things that I hadn't seen before. As you can see from these pictures, Mike and Mary have many things to see that you just can't get all in one stop. Sitting in here for a meal makes you feel like you are surrounded by family in the warmth of the wood that is original to the building. I have often enjoyed simply coming in to sit with a hot cup of coffee or tea and enjoy some alone time while basking in the sunlight from the beautiful windows that you even see here in many of the pictures. I love seeing original pieces like the postcard or this picture of the depot nearly 150 years ago. This fireplace with the beautiful carving that you see having been done here, and the tile down below, the different types of color that they were using then. Definitely take the time to stroll down their hallway and see the old schedule as well as all these cafe car menus. I was nearly floored to see what in 1934 you could get for $1.50 or $1.25 for an entire menu. On the right hand side you see the a la carte menu and the various items that you could get for 15 or 20 or 25 cents. As I looked into one of the back rooms that they have for overflow and even available for reservations for small parties, I found these books sitting on a windowsill. I can envision one of these being in one of the bigger pockets of the gentleman that ran the railroad or stuffed down inside of a bag as they're trying to take care of things on these different rail cars. I didn't have the heart to crack them open and see if there were any old written notes in there. You want to be very gentle with some books because they can fall apart easily and time just gets to the paper after a while. Another unique find was waiting for me in one of the back rooms as well. Date nails were tagging devices utilized by railroads to visually identify the age of railroad ties. Different railroads use different size nails with either alpha or numerical markings. Here we have numerical markings. The small thumbnail-sized steel pieces bear the 2-digit number indicating the year a cross tie was manufactured. As you can see, various shapes and styles make each one unique and usually reflect changing styles across the decades. Date nail use dropped dramatically in the mid-20th century, and for American railroads, they were phased out in the 1970s. I can imagine how fun it was to find these sitting in a mason jar. The nails just so happen to be sitting on top of this safe, which is where I'm pretty sure Mike keeps his recipes. I really do attempt to get something different at least every few times that I come in, but I definitely stick to some of my favorites that I have circled here on the menu and a couple that I can't wait to show for you to enjoy when you stop in. I highly recommend you bring a group of friends so you all can order something different and then fight over getting a bite off of your friend's plate. First meal out the gate, my friends, smoked chicken hash Benedict. You heard that right. Pulled smoked chicken, sweet potatoes, caramelized onions, 2 eggs, topped with the most amazing chipotle hollandaise. Everything you've wanted in a breakfast with a little twist sits right on this plate. Here I am digging in, trying to get a bite that has all 5 pieces of this dish on this fork. Look at that. Amazing. Now, as I go to eat it, I can't even begin to tell you guys. I thought it was nuts at first, right? You hear about sweet potatoes and smoked chicken and a chipotle sauce, but that smoke with the sweet, with the little bit of the caramelized onion, the eggs, and the spicy coming off the chipotle make a bite that is unbelievable. This is one of my go-tos when I have breakfast, and sometimes it might even be my first breakfast before I go to second breakfast. I wanted to give you one good close-up of the smoked chicken hash Benedict. So you have that egg cooked to perfection. Look at that ooze out on top of what we've got in the bed of that sweet potato, that smoked chicken that is so easily being pulled apart by my knife, as well as the caramelized onion here. Don't worry, I didn't leave anything left on the plate. There was no way possible. Even got a few funny looks as I licked the plate clean. Second breakfast. No kidding. It was all in one sitting, y'all. So chicken and waffles. Let me get a close-up into this. Look at the powdered sugar. These chicken pieces are huge, covering the waffle. One of my biggest disappointments when I get chicken and waffles is I don't get enough chicken to go with my waffle. I want the full bite. I don't want a little bit of chicken and a whole lot of waffle. Not that a waffle is bad, but I got chicken and waffles. Look at this bite. This is amazing. I'm telling you right here with a lick on my face while everybody is seeing that I'm nuts, that this is amazing. This is good. So I have the crisp outer portion of the fried chicken. I have the tender chicken tender in the center that has the perfect seasoning to go with it. I'm getting some salt from my seasoning, and then I'm also getting some sweet from that maple syrup and the waffle, right? The best bite. Now, I love these things. I swear to God, I want to steal them. No, Mary, I didn't take it from you guys, but I really do love the cute little syrup pours. I had another visit where I give you a little bit more about lunch. This smoked onion dip is amazing. I have never had another onion dip quite like this, and I think honestly it's that smoked part that comes into it. I am a huge onion fan, so I appreciate the chopped onion that is inside of the dip, along with these house-made chips. About half the time I come in for lunch, I do get this right before I get into anything else. Looking for something on the lighter side? Check out the Conductor tossed salads. They have a chicken Cub, a chicken Caesar, a miso chicken, and this is a Pioneer steak salad. It has grilled steak, mixed greens, tomatoes, blue cheese crumbles, fried onions, and a dressing of your choice, but usually comes with a vinaigrette. Maybe you might want to drop by for one of their specials. You could end up lucky and get a BBQ Brisket Sandwich with onion straws, or the barbecue beef brisket quesadilla. They have an amazing pulled pork grilled cheese with chips or fries, a gigantic smoked chicken chimichanga, or perhaps a Southwestern chicken taco salad, and a to die for burnt ends mac stack. Whatever it is, from their chefs to your table, you're gonna love whatever they bring out for you that you've selected. I am often reminded in these small restaurants why I love going to them. You see family and love of the community everywhere you turn. These people live here. They're known in the community and they do great things. This is one of the many reasons why, as I walk out the door from the depot, I'm consistently reminded of why this first city of Kansas is so great. I can't help but continue to drive by the old homes and the beautiful brick and still discover things that I haven't noticed before, such as these roads that in time have been paved over, but there's some still hanging around. as well as relics of factories from an era gone by when the railroad used to come through a lot more, and even the high noon that had been a community staple for decades. We cannot let Leavenworth lose another historic restaurant. Make sure you stop in, tell Mike and Mary that we sent you, order everything you can off of this menu, and enjoy it to the deepest and fullest extent. I want to mention my other episodes, Hayes House out of Council Grove, Kansas, and my very first Miss Mary Bobo's in Lynchburg, Tennessee. I don't know where I'm going next, but thank you for dropping by. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and get updates from Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok on where I'm going next. From me and my trusty Nom Nom, hope to see you again.